This will unlock the Lakers. We've gotten glimpses of a few players and what they have been working on this summer, and this will become very crucial to the Lakers squad that is looking to improve and become a contender for next season. These players reaching their ceiling will add much more versatility to the Lakers and give the coaching staff more options to use best optimal lineups. What's good? I'm Okechi Apakama, and this is Lakers Digest coming at you with another video. Before we get into everything we have for you for today's video, I just want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already to get all of those Laker updates here in the summer, guys. But let's hop straight into our video because we got a lot to talk about today, and it's mainly about the Lakers and just how a couple of players and their incremental improvement can really improve this Lakers squad. So let's get into it, as Vando is trying to improve his offense. So we all know Jarred Vanderbilt has struggled on the offensive end for the Los Angeles Lakers, even though he is one of the best perimeter defenders the Lakers have had on the roster for the past couple of seasons. And he has struggled, obviously, with health and staying healthy and staying on the floor. But also another thing that he has struggled with is his offensive game. And he isn't really a great finisher, not a guy that is really a good shooter. He's a good passer in spurts, but there's also some points where he isn't put into optimal positions on the offensive end. That is usually due to just Jarred Vanderbilt just not being capable enough as a shooter or as a finisher. But those are some of the things that he's been looking to work on this off season. And this was for the video that we got from Jarred Vanderbilt and some of his workouts that he's been doing with one of the top trainers out there, Chris Johnson Hoops on YouTube. And so Jarred Vanderbilt has been working on floaters and shooting, and those are two very massive areas for a guy like Jarred Vanderbilt, just because of the way that he's probably going to be positioned in the Lakers offense, whether he is in the corner being as a spacer or is the guy setting the screen. And usually the guy that he's setting the screen for is like a Luka Doncic or LeBron James, and they usually trap the ball handler. So Jarred Vanderbilt being good in 4-on-3s and some of those situations, that is where he is looking to become a better scorer and finisher. So those are two major things that Vanderbilt is working on. And this is important to note, as Jarred Vanderbilt, this is his first full offseason that he's been with the Lakers, that he's been healthy. So Vanderbilt has always been rehabbing some type of injury or coming back from some type of lingering thing, but now he's been fully healthy this summer and he's been able to put in that work here in the offseason. And just to take a look of just what things have changed for a guy like Jarred Vanderbilt, take a look at this video here from his workout, and you can see with his shooting form, it is a lot more fluid this this go around, and doesn't really have that hitch that he's usually been carrying that he has in his jump shot. So it's nice to see that clear up a little bit, and hopefully that will lead to obviously better shot making and just the defense respecting him more out there, because that is a big reason why the Lakers haven't been able to play a guy like Jarred Vanderbilt, just because of his non-factor ability to shoot the outside shot. And then that just allows teams to lay off him in the playoffs and really just not be too concerned with a guy like Jarred Vanderbilt. Albeit his offensive rebounding can be a nuisance to some teams, but once you get to those higher levels of playoff basketball, obviously those teams can really snuff that out there. So Jarred Vanderbilt, him reaching his ceiling and potential is going to give a guy like JJ Redick a lot more options to use him, because I'm pretty sure he probably wanted to use a guy like Jarred Vanderbilt because of his defensive skills and what he can do on the defensive side of the ball, because there wasn't many guys on the roster that can do what Jarred Vanderbilt does defensively. So if he can just get up to par really with his offense and just become a respectable shooter, he doesn't have to be like a high 40% shooter, he just maybe 34-35%, somewhere around that number, and just become a lot more useful as a finisher. So that is like floaters, obviously finishing through contact and stuff like that of that nature. So if he can get better at that, then that's going to open up doors for him to get more playing time and give the Lakers a lot more versatility when it comes to building out lineups. And there was another player that I wanted to get to and talk about his possible growth and improvement, and it's going to be shocking for some people, as Bronny James is looking to crack the rotation. So Bronny James is only in year 2, and obviously there is a lot of noise about Bronny James and whether he should be on the team or not, but he showed a lot of improvement throughout the whole season, especially in the G League, where he got a lot more comfortable as a player and really started to settle in as an NBA pro. And then we saw him with the fruits of his labor as he played well during the Summer League, was probably one of the Lakers' better players there for that Summer League team. So Bronny James is another player that is looking to possibly make an impact for next season. And This was coming down from an article that David McMenamin had and talking about how JJ Redick wants Bronny to study the game of Davion Mitchell and TJ McConnell. And he said on every single possession they're in a game, whether it's offensively or defensively, they're able to impact how hard they'll play with the defensive pickups points, the disruption, being able to get downhill. I've seen all those flashes from Bronny, and to get to the next level for him, it's cardio and fitness. And that's a big point there for a guy like Bronny James because he is obviously coming off of that heart issue that he had a couple of years ago. And working back and playing professional basketball is a very difficult thing to do, especially when you have that issue. And then he also talked about in that article as well that he does get a little bit sicker more often. So that also influences his ability to condition as well. So he hasn't been able to find the condition that he just regularly can when he was younger, just because he is getting sicker a lot more often. That kind of like stunts his ability to really build up stamina. But if he's able to obviously break through that, he does have the archetype and the skill set to be an impactful player on this Laker team because he guards the point of attack. And that's the same thing with Jared Vanderbilt. That's the two things about these guys that they do something on the roster that nobody else, with the exception of Marcus Smart and Gabe Vincent, do. And that's guard at the point of attack and can be a pest, picking up 94 feet and really using their physical and athletic tools. We've seen Bronny really show out some of his athletic tools and his pop really just recently in the G League, or excuse me, in the Summer League here, as we've seen just obviously that LeBron James athleticism clearly runs in the family. And if he can use those skills that he has from his physical tools on the defensive end, it can really turn him into a very impact player here for the Los Angeles Lakers. So having another guy like Bronny James sort of come to bat and come to play, and it's also being looked at as from their coaching staff as well. So Nate McMillan was talking on a podcast recently, and he was talking about Bronny James and his possibility of possibly snagging up minutes. So this is what he was talking about. And he said, we've seen a lot of growth from year one. He had, I thought, a really good summer league this year, a young guy that is coming in with this type of pressure that came into the summer or into the league, and last year was unbelievable. When he played in the Las Vegas Summer League last year and this year, his games are sold out to see him. The fan base has really, I think, for the most part, been supportive of him. He spent most of his time in the G League this season, and I really feel that helped him because he came into the Summer League, and you can see the confidence. He's been much more relaxed than he was last year. Everybody would have been nervous as can be last season, but he came with much more relaxed this season. His shot was never broken, but his confidence you can see in knocking down these shots, getting to the basket. Defensively, we want him to challenge himself and pick up the ball. I love Bronny, great young man, and we expect him to possibly get some minutes this year. Very, very big thing to note there of him about the possibility of him snagging up some minutes there. And there is a possibility that we can see that there. Obviously, we have guys ahead of him in the rotation, especially at those guard spots. You have Luka, you have Austin Reaves, and then off the bench, it's going to be probably Smart, and then Gabe Vincent as well. But in that fifth guard in that rotation is a Bronny James. And if there is an injury here or there, or where we see an extended absence from a Gabe or a Marcus Smart, then you can see a Bronny James possibly making his way into this rotation, especially if he's able to defend at a high level, which he is very capable of doing with physical tools that he has and what he can do on that side of the ball. And it's been the challenge for him to, that's the only way he's probably going to get minutes on the court, is to become that pest defensively, like a TJ McConnell, like Davion Mitchell, those guys who can really pick up the ball and pick up that point. And then obviously the offensive games came later for some of those guys, but defensively is where McConnell and Mitchell made their impact. So if Bronny wants to find some playing time in the NBA, that is going to be the way that he does it. And I truly believe that he has the physical tools and the attributes and the mentality and the work ethic to facilitate those desires. So Bronny James, I'm looking for a guy that can possibly even get some minutes here this upcoming season, along with Jared Vanderbilt, if he's able to show those improvements on his offensive side of the ball. But maybe you think differently from me. Let us know in the comments below. Do you think a guy like Jared Vanderbilt can show that improvement that we have been looking for, having that first full healthy offseason, and can show that offensive improvement? And do you think the same thing as with Bronny James as well? Do you think he can show that improvement and possibly get some minutes here in the rotation? Or are you on thinking of the other side where Jerry Vando is probably more of a negative asset at this point and is a guy that's never fully going to develop an offensive game? And then Bronny is just mostly just a guy that is not going to see too much playing time this year, and maybe the year after or the season after that he can get some more playing time here in the NBA. Let us know in the comments down below. And just one more thing for us, guys. There is 79% of you guys who have recently watched our videos who are not yet subscribed to the channel just yet. And if you guys want more of that Laker news, Laker updates, trade rumors, game recaps, just every and all things LA Lakers, you guys want to come right here to Lakers Digest so you don't miss any of that action. All right. I've been your host, Okechi Apakama, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.